Today's video, we're going to talk about the surprise update that actually buffed the CX-9 and gave a pretty significant nerf to the Krig 6, which has been kind of one of the more prominent meta weapons. We'll go ahead and talk about the changes and how this is going to impact your loadouts or anything like that. If you enjoy the video, learn something new, please do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're brand new, want to find your way back, double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. So Raven says that they pushed out an update to Warzone with a couple of weapon tweaks for the Krig 6, Black Ops Cold War, obviously. Lower torso multiplier decreased from 1.1 to 1, and maximum damage range decreased from 1,500 units to 1,400 units. Whatever units they're using in game, for whatever reason, they don't have it set up with meters, even though that is the unit of measurement within the game. For the CX9, it says it increased the mid-damage range from 20 to 21, and increased the headshot multiplier from 1.4 to 1.45. But this is a little bit deceptive because it makes it seem like this was that the range was actually changed. But for whatever reason, they're talking about that middle damage range profile for that specific weapon. It went from 20 to 21, which also impacts the headshot multiplier. So it got like a double buff, especially for its mid-range, long range, how you would use it in Warzone. So to do the damage profile testing, I pretty much do what I normally do is I go into a private match, you wait around, you hit the bot, and then you shoot them in the head. You look at the damage value as it comes up. And then basically you can figure out the damage profile for the limbs, the torso, the upper torso, and you just kind of do that math back and forth. I've showed this multiple times on the channel. It's essentially what you do in a private match. You just shoot foot, foot. All right, cool, they match. Stomach, stomach, chest, chest, head, head. And then you get those values and you plug them in. So now that's what we'll go ahead and take a look at. So now what we're looking at here is the damage values with the shots to kill, time to kill for its first damage and its second damage drop off. Its rate of fire, all that good stuff, damage per mag, whatever. But the thing that I like to look at here is what actually changed. And this is what I've highlighted in yellow. And for some of these instances, it's going to look like almost nothing changes, but it has a significant impact on this bottom section, which is the number of shots to kill in certain areas to get the faster time to kill. And one of the biggest changes here is obviously the headshot went from 33 to 34. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but this is enough to change it from a 2-shot headshot down to a 1 headshot. So what that will mean is more often than not, you're going to get this 588 TTK, which is relatively competitive, right in the space with a lot of the other SMGs. But prior to the update, you needed 2 headshots to get the absurd TTK that competes with like the MP5 up close. So if you're a very accurate player, you're likely to at least get 1 headshot in the mix without missing too many body shots to sacrifice that, if you know what that means. Like you're gonna shoot for the head and now you're missing, you know, you can't make up for it that way. You got to still be accurate, but you're going to get closer to this 529 more often because of this difference to the extra 1 headshot that you do not need. The huge change is in the second damage drop off, where they went up by 1 value here and it went up by 4 values there because of the combination of both of those buffs. Before you needed 4 torso shots to get this 765. Now you only need 3. You needed 2 headshots to get the next fastest TTK. Now you only need 8 chest and stomach. And then 9 for 12, which you needed 5 headshots before. And then now to get this 11 shot to kill at range, you only need 3 headshots, which isn't as practical, I'll admit that. But these TTKs have essentially made this a very good sniper support option because the TTK at range is pretty solid. As long as 1, you can manage the recoil, and 2, you're comfortable using an SMG as a long range option. So TTK wise, it got a huge buff. Then when it comes to the Krig, it looks like a negligible difference, right? They nerfed the damage range by 3 meters, essentially, not a huge difference. So it went from 38 to 35. You probably won't notice that part of the gun. They just did that to put it in line with a lot of the other rifles that are in the game, because the Krig actually had a little bit more damage range than a lot of those other weapons. So it performed a little bit better at that 35-ish meter range where you get into a gunfight on occasion, right? There's certain scenarios where it's like, damn, this thing got the close range TTK, and you know, it's kind of how it goes. So the stomach and got nerfed, right? So it went from 33 down to 30, as you can see highlighted there, and it went from 28 down to 26. Initially, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but that changes how often you're going to be able to get this mid TTK versus before. you could get chest and stomach, pretty forgiving. You're going to be able to do that. Now you have to get 8 chest, not 8 chest and stomach. So you're going to end up with a scenario where it's going to feel a lot more like the QBZ. And I think that's essentially what they've done, because on paper, it sounded like, damn, the QBZ should be in line with the Krig. But as we saw, the different damage value allowed it to get that less often. Obviously, the Krig has a different damage values slightly than the QBZ with very similar fire rates. So overall, I think you'll notice it, but it's still going to be one of the dominant guns just because it has almost no recoil. So if you want to use the CX9, there's multiple loadouts you can go with. This is the mobility build that you could possibly go with because this one comes included with like a Merc foregrip or some kind of underbarrel. It does hurt your damage range and bullet velocity, but you can make up a little bit of that with the monolithic suppressor, and then it ends up working out really well. 50-round drum, then sleight of hand cuts that down to sub 1 second reload from almost 2 seconds. And then we have the no stock option, which is the CXFR. I don't know why they didn't use normal names. That's kind of the build that you can use for mobility. If you want a little bit more, just a different build, you can go that route. I mean, there's a lot of different routes. You want to use it a little bit more for range, maybe you go commando, but that will hurt you on the strafe speed. I mean, there's different ways you can go with this one. As far as the Krig, almost nothing changes. You either go with the Ranger, but maybe you want that extra range back. You're going to go with the mil spec, but keep in mind it will slow down your aim down sight. We did a video kind of covering which barrel you should be using. We also have that on the spreadsheet, so it kind of gives you an idea of what you should be using. So yeah, if you want to check out the spreadsheet, it is linked in the description. If you appreciate all the support on the content, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're brand new and want to find your way back, double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.